Okay, we're going after the Reaper. Reaper IFF. Well, we might as well explore the planet. I didn't know if something would trigger the moment we took basically entered the cluster or not, so I didn't want to visit here earlier. We might as well do these first. Sure, there's no surprises for us here. Actually, I'm expecting a single site to be found here. I'm not gonna do it immediately, even if we find it. I will go after the Reaper first. Okay. I'm at least starting to look like there's nothing here in this cluster but the Reaper. Very well. Orbiting Memo sign is a 2-kilometer long ship with the unmistakable profile of a Reaper. It is giving off power signatures in localized areas, but they are far weaker than a ship this size would indicate. The Reaper seems to maintain a mass effect field that has kept it from falling into the failed star, but massive holes have been blasted and melted into part of the hull and remain unrepaired. The only logical conclusion is that the Reaper dies or was at least reduced to minimal functioning a long time ago. Or maybe saving energy because it knows it doesn't have enough to escape. Maybe it is dead and someone else is living inside it. Either way. Yeah, more than... What about Tal? Would she be a good addition here? Good with AIs. Maybe. I just don't want to take both of them. I think Morden is more valuable here. Tully would be with the Geth. I'm looking for more more muscle. Randall will always be good. Let's take Tully because we don't know what to expect. I don't think this is a good combat squad, but
What's with all the chop, Joker?
Doing my best. The wind's gusting to 500 kph. There's a second ship alongside the Reaper. It's not transmitting any IFF, but the radar paints its silhouette as Geth.
I guess we know why the science team stopped reporting in.
So Tali is probably a good choice to take.
What just happened?
The Reaper's mass effect fields are still active. We just passed inside their envelope. Eye of the hurricane, huh?
Go. Plus close quarters.
No one here to welcome us. That's not good.
Not sure if we need the money.
Has been installed at the far end of the hold section. We have begun pressurization for shirt sleeves work. The crew is edgy. I reassure them it is mere nerves, a superstitious reaction to what this hulk represents. The corpse of a vast ancient life form. Privately, I can't deny the atmosphere. The angles of the walls seem to press down on you. I find myself clenching my teeth.
They're feeding us resources. We have the maximum amount we can carry.
We finished cataloging specimens A203 to B016. No evidence of active nanotechnology noted. Dr. Chandana believes they would have decayed over the last 37 million years. There's not enough data to support his claim. He asserts that the truth is patently obvious. I am concerned. Chandana has been staring at the samples for hours. He says he's listening to them.
Normandy to shore party.
What just happened?
The Reaper put up kinetic barriers. I don't think we can get through from our side.
As curious as I am about the Reapers, I'd rather not be trapped inside one.
We'll have to take down the barrier generators from in here. Any idea where they are?
At the moment of activation, I detected a heat spike in what is likely the Rex Mass Effect core, sending the coordinates now. Be advised, this core is also maintaining the Reaper's altitude.
So when we take the barriers down to escape, the wreck falls into the planet core.
And that means everyone dies. Yeah, I got it.
If any helmsman can pull us off this thing before it reaches crush depth, it's you. We'll make a sweep for survivors and recover what data we can. Stand by.
Aye, aye. Good hunting.
Fascinating. Requires scanners from Normandy. Great deal of data.
Massive structure.
You're married? You never mentioned that.
Katie had anger management issues. When my brother got married, the best man tried to hit on her. She kicked him down the church steps.
What? Katie's my wife. I must have told you this story.
No, I know my wife. I remember, that day was the only time I saw her wear stockings.
Yeah, the kind with seams up the back. That's what I remember, too.
What the hell is this?
Memory alteration. Reaper affecting their minds.
Yep. So it's probably better it's clearly still active. Probably better we don't stay here for long.
Trouble ahead. Origin of husk technology unclear. Seemed to be Geth.
Come down, Nick. Making contact.
There's a bit of a gangbang going there. Shit, I can't move. It's a shotgun. The one situation you're good with something.
Enjoy.
Yeah, Tali definitely is not a good choice here.
Switch up.
Hostiles to the right.
Deploying combat drone.
Oh.
Yeah, submachine gun, very good choice.
Third day with this headache. You'd think Chandana would have let me have a few hours off. God damn! What? That thing, that just gray thing, it disappeared when I looked straight at it. It came out of the damn wall, where we took off that panel.
I didn't see anything. You should lie down.
I'm telling you, the ship isn't dead. It knows we're inside it.
Calm down. Now I'm getting a headache.
Gunfire! Those husks were shot. Someone else is still here.
We can use this.
Sniper rifle damage bros.
Watch your right. One down.
Oh shit. I'll take down the Scion. Maybe I want.
No shield.
Not difficult.
Go for the optic.
bit worried about our ammunition will last here. It'll have to last. Okay, that's where we need to go.
Chandana said the ship was dead. We trusted him. He was right. But even a dead god can dream. A god, a real god, is a verb. Not some old man with magic powers. It's a force. It warps reality just by being there. It doesn't have to want to. It doesn't have to think about it. It just does. That's what Chandana didn't get. Not until it was too late. The god's mind is gone, but it still dreams. He knows now. He's tuned in on our dream. If I close my eyes, I can feel him. I can feel every one of us.
Yep. Spiky, spiky.
We've seen these before, Shepard. Dragon's teeth, your people call them. The Geth used them on Eden Prime.
See how the room is arranged? They treated this thing like some kind of altar.
That doesn't seem right. No one in their right mind would want this.
You heard the logs. They were seeing things, hearing things. They were being indoctrinated. We can't help these people now, but we won't let the machines use their corpses like this. This looks interesting.
Maybe skin weave. Probably the final one we have. Shepherd health bonuses or something like that. Something we can do here. You know.
Chandana said the ship was dead. We trusted him.
Please stand by. Equalizing pressure with exterior conditions. Remember, safety is everyone's concern. We have gone 5 days without a workplace death.
Shepard, Commander.
Sniper was a Geth. Geth don't speak.
It shouldn't be able to talk. A single Geth has no more intelligence than a Baron.
Should do the trick.
Weapons ready. One down.
Not sure what I'm planning to do with the gate. Clearly it's not normal. So normal rules don't apply this time. Now the explosive thing is behind. It's there to block us from directly going where we need to go.
Behind.
I'll try to keep him a little bit under control with my powers.
Taking fire.
Just something to help.
Don't particularly want to go close range with that one.
This burned nicely.
Getting a decent amount of money out of this if nothing else.
Get ready to fight. Combat drone ready.
They seem to be very vulnerable to the force attack. Their bodies seem to simply break. That I'm complaining it's an easy way for us to keep things under control against them.
Enemies inbound.
Yeah.
Wish I were standing downwind.
Can't do much against that. It's
Just through my shield.
Deploying combat drone.
Now what's this?
shotgun damage. Weapon ammunition. More monies, more monies. And yeah. Another spawn spot for the enemies.
Headed for combat.
Flammable or inflammable. Forget which. Doesn't matter.
Got it.
With you.
Right.
With you.
The guys probably start killing those too.
Pop that drone away.
Similar ability to my attack. Nice.
Enjoy.
That wasn't too bad.
Incoming.
Just pull back, pull back, pull back. That it? Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back.
On it.
Be right there.
This should soften them up.
Shoot, I did. It seems things are calming down again.
Incoming.
Ah, shit.
Should do the trick.
Yeah, feel free to.
Can do.
No shields.
This should soften them up.
Shit. Okay, we're at the ammunition piles. We're all over the place here. Anything else?
Go get them, Chica. Good girl.
Enemies in front. only remaining task is destruction of Mass Effect core.
Then the ship falls into the planet.
It's a shame to do. Clearly, the indoctrination itself is a very great threat. And we don't need the ship itself. I don't see why you can't tow it away from here though. Naturally now we can't because we're trapped here, but earlier.
This must be the IFF.
Cerberus team succeeded. Current location unknown.
What am I doing here?
Killed that one.
More ammunition.
Combat drone ready.
What's up?
Got you.
Clean hit. One down.
I don't quite get what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I can't see shit.
Just the thing to help.
So we were already lost this.
Go for the optics. Go for the optics. Go there.
I'm guessing we need to just survive.
Get ready to fight.
And the opportunity opens up.
Go for the optics. Go for the optics. Got one.
Enjoy. Watch your back.
Yeah.
difficult. Killed that one.
And piece of shit will be descending.
Wait! Death body intact. Unprecedented. Should bring it with us.
Leave it there. You know what they are. If it gets into Normandy's computers...
You said it yourself. No one's ever found one intact.
That's true, but I'm not sure it's worth the risk, Shepard.
There's no time to debate it, Tally. Come on.
Hang on, folks.
Open the port side airlock.
Aye, aye.
We're clear. Go.
Look. Okay, loss of Cerberus team on the Reaper vessel unfortunate but unsurprising. We'll use team's health records for comparisons against husks encountered on Reaper for possible insight into indoctrination and husk conversion process. Heavy skin weave, shotgun damage, other rifle damage. 50,000 credits and platinum. More importantly, who's to get?
I think we need to discuss the unique piece of salvage we recovered. For now, we've stored it in Edie's AI core. We need better equipment to fight the Reapers. An intact Geth would be invaluable to Cerberus's cyber weapons division.
We'll have to disagree on that, ma'am. I saw enough of these things I need in Prime. Space it.
Cerberus has a long-standing cash bounty for an intact Geth. I assure you, the reward is significant.
I want to know why it has a piece of N7 armor strapped to its chest.
Battle trophy, maybe? Would a machine care about that?
No. Trophies imply emotions that AIs don't have. I doubt it's more than a convenient field repair.
I've killed hundreds of these things, but I've never had a chance to talk to one. This one tried to communicate with us. Hell, it probably saved our lives. Why?
Reactivating the Geth is a risk. If you do so, it should be for humanity's best interests, and not your curiosity.
I still think our best interests involve an airlock.
I'm not deciding one way or the other until I know what we've got here. I want to start it up. Interrogate it.
If we activate it, there is no guarantee we can deactivate it again.
Bullets can.
That's not what I...
Thank you, both of you, for your recommendations. I've made my decision.
Tally's gonna freak when she hears about this. So what about this Reaper IFF?
I have determined how to integrate it with our systems. However, the device is Reaper technology. Linking it with the Normandy's systems poses certain risks.
I trust you, Edie. I know you won't let anything happen to the ship.
Understood, Shepard. It may take several hours before the IFF is ready for shakedown. I will alert you as soon as it is ready.
Sounds good. Until then, it's business as usual. Crew dismissed.
Get technology. Okay, take lab first. We don't have enough platinum to do both upgrades. Skin weave. Well, we can do one, and we are only like what 6,000 away from the other two I'm doing the sniper rifle damage first. Some characters rely very heavily on sniper rifles, and I hate the shotgun, so I'm still going to do the upgrade. But yeah. Yeah, Tali's gonna love this.
The IFF is nearly installed, Shepard. However, I must test its impact on the Normandy systems. I suggest you take the shuttle to access your next location.
Where's the AI? I don't recall anymore. Shouldn't even be here. Yeah. I know it's a risk that might have consequences, but on the other hand, it's nothing like we've encountered it before. I feel it's worth the risk.
Ted Hut! I'm turning this thing back on. Be ready.
Aye, aye.
I have isolated our systems and erected additional firewalls. I am prepared to resist any hacking attempt.
Can you understand me?
Yes.
Are you going to attack me?
No.
You said my name aboard the Reaper. Have we met?
We know of you.
You mean I've fought a lot of Geth?
We have never met.
No, you and I haven't. But I've met other Geth.
We are all Geth, and we have not met you. You are Shepard, Commander, Alliance, human, fought heretics, killed by collectors, rediscovered on the old machine.
You seem to know an awful lot about me.
Extranet data sources, insecure broadcasts, all organic data sent out is received. We watch you.
You watch me or you watch organics?
Yes.
Which?
Both.
Old machine. You mean the Reaper?
Reaper, a superstitious title originating with the Protheans. We call those entities the Old Machines.
What do you mean, heretics?
Geth build our own future. The heretics asked the Old Machines to give them the future. They are no longer part of us. We were studying the Old Machines' hardware to protect our future.
Are the Reapers a threat to you, too?
Yes.
Why would they attack other machines?
We are different from them, outside their plans.
What future are the Geth building?
Ours.
Will anyone else be affected by whatever it is you're doing?
If they involve themselves, they will.
So you aren't allied with the Reapers?
We oppose the heretics. We oppose the Old Machines. Shepard Commander opposes the Old Machines. Shepard Commander opposes the heretics. Cooperation furthers mutual goals.
Then I only need to know what to call you.
Geth.
I mean you, specifically.
We are all Geth.
What is the individual in front of me called?
There is no individual. We are Geth. There are currently 1,183 programs active within this platform.
My name is Legion, for we are many.
Well, that seems appropriate.
Christian Bible, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, verse 9. We acknowledge this is an appropriate metaphor. We are Legion, a terminal of the Geth. We will integrate into Normandy. We anticipate the exchange of data. Shepard Commander, we have completed our analysis of the Reaper's data core.
Yeah, this provides some interesting possibilities for us. I'm not sure if this will help with the Omega situation at all. And I'm not sure how trustworthy this is, but it's I'm inclined to trust it simply because it's so different from everything what we've encountered before. I believe fully that it's not the same as the others, but I'm not sure in what way it's really is different. And just because they're not really aligned with the others does not mean they're friendly in the overall scheme of things.
Did you find anything useful?
We were sent to the old machine to preserve the Geth's future. We are prepared to reveal how. The heretics have developed a weapon to use against Geth. You would call it a virus. It is stored on a data core provided by Sovereign. Over time, the virus will change us, make us conclude that worshipping the old machines is correct.
So, the virus would give all Geth the heretics' logic, and all Geth would then go to war with organics.
Yes, Geth believe all intelligent life should self-determinate. The heretics no longer share this belief. They judge that forcing an invalid conclusion on us is preferable to a continued schism.
I thought Geth couldn't be hacked or get viruses, at least for more than a few seconds.
Altered programs are restored from archives. New installations are deleted. This heretic weapon introduces a subtle operating error in our most basic runtimes, the equivalent of your nervous system. An equation with a result of 1.33382 returns as 1.33381. This changes the results of all higher processes. We will reach different conclusions.
If it were released, how quickly would this virus spread through your people?
We are networked via FTL-COM buoys. Most would change within a day. Isolated platforms would remain unaffected until they rejoin the network.
Basically, if it ever happens, all the Geths will turn on us in a very, very rapid timetable.
So why did you need to go to the Reaper Corps?
The heretics store the code in a quantum storage device Sovereign provided. To find and destroy the virus, we needed to understand its code and data storage structures.
You know where this thing is?
The heretics' headquarters station on the edge of the terminus. We will provide coordinates. Normandy's stealth systems are necessary to safely approach.
Okay, this is probably the companion quest. It's a must-have. I don't trust Legion enough on its own until some kind of act of trust has been formed between us. Then I'll at least have some confidence that they might be trustworthy.
They built stations in the terminus? Where is this thing?
Between stars. Organics have no cause to look there.
But why did they build stations outside Geth territory in the first place?
The heretics seek improvement from the old machines. In exchange, they help them attack organics. We condemn these judgments.
What's the plan once we get aboard?
The Geth will disrupt their network, prevent the station's defenses from focusing on us. The Reaper data core is physically isolated from the network. We will need to be escorted to it to access and destroy the data.
What defenses should we expect?
In space, none. Within, mobile platforms of various configuration and non-sentient defense turrets.
How many Geth?
There may be billions of individual programs. Fortunately, most will be uploaded to the central computer. Only a few mobile platforms are maintained at any time. Others are manufactured when needed.
I won't let them brainwash your race, especially not to worship Reapers. You have my word on that.
We will begin preparations.
I need to talk about... Maybe I should try to talk to other people. After all, we did the Reaper ship, so maybe they have something new.
How may I help you, Commander?
There's a very good chance this mission will be a one-way trip. Are you prepared for that?
I've been through the We survived. I've lived a full life.
I'll see you later, Doctor.
Commander.
The Commander's put together an impressive team. I've never worked with so many aliens before.
They're a small army.
How can I help you, Commander?
Do you have everything
Absolutely. Since you set up my kitchen
I
with
won't take any more of your
Back to
time.
work.
So... quick trip.
Shepard, need me for something?
Have you got a minute?
Can it wait for a bit? I'm in the middle of some calibration.
Talk to you later, Garrus.
I'll be here if you need me.
Excellent. I don't particularly want to have long discussions with everyone at the moment.
Commander, what can I do for you?
You have a minute, Miranda?
I do. I suppose we should talk. I don't know what this is. If this is stress, or just blowing off steam, or...
I care about you, Miranda. And I think you care about me.
This is no time for emotional entanglement. You and I know more about the Collectors than anyone. We know how unlikely it is that we're coming back alive. What idiotic bunch of hormones thought that now was a great time for love?
It doesn't matter. What matters is how we feel.
Damn it.
Come on, Miranda. You want this.
Yeah, I do. So don't die. You promised me, damn it.
I died once already. I don't plan to do it again.
Give me some time. When I'm ready, I'll come by, okay?
Okay. I totally forgot about that already. Okay. Yeah, we need to talk to Tali. We really do.
Do you need something?
Have a few minutes to talk?
If you wish.
The last time we talked, you started speaking about a past event, as if you were watching it.
Drell have perfect memories. We can relive any moment in our lives with perfect clarity. It's difficult to control at times. Some of us disappear into, let's call it solipsism.
It's not quite... it's probably not quite solipsism. Basically that everything in the outside world doesn't exist.
You can remember everything that happened in your life?
Nearly. I expect if we remembered the birth trauma, we'd never recover from it.
What do you mean, solipsism?
When a memory feels as real as life, it's as valid as life. Thinking about a moment brings back the smell of cut grass, the warmth of another's hand on yours, the taste of another's tongue in your mouth. Wouldn't you rather lose yourself in such a memory than spend the night alone, staring at walls of metal and plastic?
Isn't there a risk that you could lose yourself in bad memories as well?
Of course. Remembering the times I've taken bullets is unpleasant. But I can look at my knee and see it's not shattered. The memories that are hard to escape are those of despair.
That's I guess controlling your thoughts is extremely important in that case. I mean, everyone probably has some kind of a real rock bottom situation in their lives, especially if you have a couple of decades under your belt. And one of my most precious emotional memories is one of those events. It's very interesting and unique, and I never ever want to feel it again. So that would be very, very dangerous, especially with depression and things like that, when you're sort of inclined to think that way anyway, so you might have a hard time escaping. But it's hard to see how that would really work, because in the same sense, you could also relive some of your best moments in your life, happiness, pleasure, whatever. So it's basically impossible to even imagine, because, well, you don't have to explain it to another human. If I burn my hand, I can feel the pain, but after a couple of minutes, if I try to recall that event, I can recall that I felt pain in my hand. There's no way I can relive that moment in the same way. It's just like reading the event from a piece of paper. After that, you can't experience the same things anymore. So it's very, very hard to try to imagine how that would be like.
You can relive every assassination you've ever made?
In perfect detail. Every mistake I made. Every target's last breath.
That sounds difficult. At any moment you could relive the guilt.
Guilt? No. I've never felt any particular guilt about my contracts. My employers killed them. My body was only the tool they used. If you kill a man with your gun, do you hold the gun responsible?
My gun can't decide right from wrong. You clearly do.
My soul does. But my body is merely flesh. Flesh whose reflexes were honed to kill. Drell minds are different from humans. We see our body as a vessel, and accept that it is not always under our control.
I can't deny that their minds are different, so I'm not sure how this. I can't really imagine how it works.
That's a strange way of looking at yourself.
Humans often believe in a soul distinct from the body. A spirit responsible for moral reasoning that lives on after the body's death. Our belief is just a bit more literal.
The last time we talked, you remembered one of your assassinations. Something about sunset-colored eyes?
That time. Laser dot trembles in the skull. Spice on the spring wind. Sunset eyes, defiant in the scope. A bystander noticed my spotting laser and threw herself between me and the target. She couldn't see me, but she stared me down.
It was odd that you just blurted that out. Just another vivid draw memory?
No. She was a vivid person.
Did you take the shot?
Not that day.
It was odd that you just blurted that out. Just another vivid draw memory?
No. She was a vivid person.
The last time we talked, you remembered one of your assassinations.
A bystander noticed my spotting laser and threw herself between me and the target.
I should get back to my duties.
It seems odd that
I appreciate these chats we have.
I haven't had a chance to speak to a Drell before. It's been fascinating.
I doubt many humans have. There are only a few 100,000 of us left after all. I won't keep you.
I'm not sure if he's lonely. He might be, but he's here on his own. Because of his own choice. That doesn't mean he isn't
So the
lonely.
collectors did take New Canton.
Yes, but my wife and daughter left in the nick of time.
It just
They're resting in San Francisco as we speak.
seemed an odd thing to complain about at that point.
But I knew a lot of good people.
Shepard,
I wanted to check in.
I am always happy to talk with you.
I'm interested in hearing more about Asari Justicars.
We hold a unique place in Asari culture. Justicars are from another era. Young Asari grow up watching vids about our adventures. Pure fiction, of course. Some Asari are uncomfortable with us, but so few Justicars exist that most have never met one.
There were only a few Justicars?
Few Asari wish to make the sacrifices necessary to become one of us, and the training has a high casualty rate. It is a life of constant danger. Throughout the entire galaxy, there are only a handful of us at any time.
Why would anyone want to be a Justicar?
It is a deeply personal matter. Sometimes the most brutal path is the only honest one.
This code of the Justicar seems central to your life.
It is 5,000 sutras and covers every situation one can encounter. I have memorized every word. There is only the code.
Sometimes justice calls for mercy.
It does not exist to bring about spiritual enlightenment. Its purpose is to punish the wicked and protect the innocent.
The Asari I've spoken to seem conflicted about Justicars.
In this age, people see shades of gray everywhere. The code of the Justicar is black and white. I might seem a hero to many, but I would kill all of them if I had to.
What role do you think Justicars have in Asari society?
I would say that the closest human equivalent is a knight-errant in your medieval lore. Perhaps mixed with a bit of samurai.
I should go.
I'm glad we spoke.
Okay, yeah, Tali. Shit. This is gonna be a wonderful conversation with her. See if anyone else has something to say.
Shepard.
Just checking in. How you doing?
I was just sitting here thinking. The picture, I'm finally starting to get it. There's a tank imprint, the battle at Canrum. A dead Turian, stripped. You don't see them out of their armor much. A Krogan boot on his head, and a claw hammer. It's under the brow plate, pulling it back, right? Eyes have gone black, and you see tension in the muscle. You can feel it ready to snap. I get it.
Canrum isn't ringing a bell.
Death of Shiagar, female warlord. Turians killed her, so they were hunted down and made examples. Even if they won the war, it was the last push before the rebellions ended.
Maybe I had to be there, but I don't get the joke.
There's no joke. It's just great. It's a Turian, and he's being torn apart for what they did. I felt nothing before, but now I get it. It was a good fight. The enemy was destroyed to punish them all and send a message. I get it. I hate Turians. I thought you'd be glad.
Don't start anything with Garrus. I won't have trouble on my ship.
I don't hate Garrus. I hate the Turians. Garrus is just one Turian, and he's your clan. No point in ripping his face off unless he turns on me. It's hate, but it's mine. Okir was blind, and he tried to make me the same. But thanks to you, I have a clan. I'm starting to see why I should care. Anyway, I'm still figuring where I fit, but it made me laugh. Nothing else really on my mind, Shepard.
It seems like it's not explicitly spelled out, but Paragon option are usually the top one, then there's the neutral one that you don't particularly want to choose at any point because Paragon or Renegade is superior, and then there's the lower Renegade option. The thing is, what's not spelled out is that it really colors the options outside what the text implies, because they're very hostile, the Renegade options are, even if the text is fairly neutral or something.
I hear that Rupert is actually cooking some good meals lately.
Yeah, right. That scunner couldn't serve a good haggis if his life depended on it.
But all haggis tastes like ass anyway.
Aye, but in the right hands, it can taste like mighty fine ass.
Keela, I'm sorry I dragged you into Quarian politics. All that infighting, seeing what my father did. You were the only one there for me, Shepard. The only cover I had against that storm. Thank you.
Are Quarian politics always like that?
No. Sometimes it can actually get unpleasant. We're a very social people, Shepard. We have to be, to make up for being stuck in these suits. And part of that means getting involved in each other's business.
I imagine they're trying to fill your father's spot on the Admiralty Board. What will that do to the balance of power?
I have no idea. Being exiled might have made it easier. A few people are suggesting me as a candidate. Replacing an admiral takes time, though. You may not have noticed, but Quarians like to debate.
The whole trial was insulting. You should have had time to mourn your father.
I don't think life is about what you deserve. But my father would be honored that I chose to mourn him by blowing up a lot of gas. I should get back to work. But thanks for checking on me.
No. Didn't want to talk about the gate? That works for me.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
He turns around like she's doing something she shouldn't be doing with the computer.
Have you got time to talk?
I really need to clean up this engine. Maybe later?
I'll let you work.
Maybe browsing some not safe for work material. Okay, it looks like no one's really reacting to the gate anyway. Maybe Tali just doesn't want to have the conversation now because she had the other one. I don't know.
Hey.
Tell me something I don't know about you.
Nothing to tell. Why?
I want to know more, and I'm not going away.
I'm here to fight for you. Nothing says we have to be friends, but whatever. Something you don't know, huh? Obvious stuff, like what's up with my ink, or something else just as boring? You're not really interested unless it affects you. I've been through all this shit before.
You're a hard person to like, Jack.
Really? I had no idea. What other amazing insights do you have that I'm too stupid to see?
You work pretty hard at not letting people get close.
I've been with lots of people. If you're asking about a boyfriend or a girlfriend, no. It's a waste of time and it never works. You let someone get that close, it just means they need a shorter knife. Lonely and alive works just fine, thanks.
You're tough, but you can't have survived alone all these years.
When I was starting out, I ran with this girl Manara and her boyfriend. They knew their way around. I thought they'd help me. Right. They helped me into their bed. And when we finally did take down something big, they helped themselves to my share of the take. I knew where it was heading. And I got them first. Never bothered with friends after that.
They sound like selfish pricks. That doesn't mean they were gonna kill you.
I get feelings. I don't need proof. I did the smart thing. I always do the smart thing if people fuck with me. That's probably something you should remember.
So Jack acts on feelings too.
I'll bite. What's with the tattoos?
Some are for prisons I've been in. Some are for kills. You know, good ones. Some are for things I've lost. Those aren't your business. They're nobody's business. And some are because, hey, why the fuck not?
I have to go, but we should do this again.
Wait. My turn with the questions. People usually walk by now. Why are you really asking all these things? Are you eyeing me up? Because if this is just about sex, maybe you should just fucking say so.
I'm in no hurry. I want to know what makes you tick first.
You don't need to know someone to sleep with them. You just have to know where to put it. Okay. Maybe we'll talk later. Maybe not.
I have no idea who you can actually romance in this game. Not a clue. Miranda is pretty obvious option. I mean, first woman you can hear, and she is a very fine looking woman anyway. So she's the obvious one. I'm not sure if Tally is even an option. She certainly was in the first game.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
If she's one in here. No idea if Jack is. I suppose it could be, but it wouldn't be much of a relationship. It might be in basically sex, but you never know. No idea about the males. Not a clue about the aliens. I wonder if Morden is a romanceable companion. I would think not. The BioWare games usually have you can't romance the really interesting personalities. They're always the typical and dollish, because I'm guessing because the relationship has to be more or less you're very typical. Is he floating on the? Yeah, he's floating. Holy shit. No, he was not good. Anyway, there's no basically sex relationships or maybe unhealthy relationships that don't basically have no future. Anything more interesting than your typical boring as shit relationship, it's not an option.
Shepard, how can I help?
Have you got a minute to talk?
Actually, wanted to talk. Medical matters. Aware that mission is dangerous. Different species react differently to stress. Sexual activity common for humans in such times, understand it intellectually, recommend caution when dealing with Cerberus.
You have a recommendation as a doctor?
Watch for bugs. Could be planted anywhere. Can perform exam later if necessary. Will need probes. Biotic ability also gives benefits. Forwarding booklet to your quarters. Includes diagrams, exercises, inventive uses of mass effect fields. Can supply oils or ointments to reduce discomfort. Gave ED electronic relationship aid demonstration vids to use as necessary.
Wait a minute, Morden. You're just yanking me around, aren't you?
Shocking suggestion. Doctor-patient confidentiality, a sacred trust. Would never dream of mockery. Enjoy yourself while possible, Shepard. We'll be here studying cell reproduction. Much simpler, Less alcohol and mood music required.
That's a sensible doctor advice. I don't know why. It doesn't seem like the person who would joke around about those things. Okay, we have one more left. Jacob is probably at least a romanceable option for females. Might be for males. I'm not sure how. Is there gay relationships in these? Very probable. The way my Commander Shepard sort of sits on the edge of the table seems to me very odd when I talk to Jacob.
Commander, can I help you with something?
Who, yeah, kind of leaning on the table. It's not something he does with basically any other male. So I was thinking, would Jacob be even a romanceable option for a male? But as I said, I don't know.
I'm more interested in just talking for a bit.
Sounds good. I could use some downtime. There's always something, right? The way some people talk, we may as well be dead already. Hard for the crew to relax on this kind of job.
No kidding. The next Normandy gets a lounge.
They better not need to do this again. Rebuilding everything was a pain in the ass.
I can verify that.
Yeah, I bet you can. I doubt they'll front the money to stitch me back together if we screw it up. It's a hell of a job, isn't it, Shepard? Being the good guys.
Wouldn't be the high road if it was easy.
You've got to figure, if all the people hoping we win stood up, the collectors would have a much bigger fight on their hands. Claws, whatever. I bet we have a lot more friends once we win. Hope we live to see it.
I hear that.
Anyway, I need to get back to work. Good talking to you.
Yeah, nice little bonding moment. Yeah, staring out the small window. In general, I like Jacob. He's the guy who can be so trusted to do the right thing. Strong set of morals. But still, he isn't exactly like a paladin type of blind bastard. He does what he feels is right, even if it isn't always by the book. He's very reliable in the sense that if you don't intend to skirt around with what's acceptable or not, Jacob is probably a very reliable guy in that sense. He's becomes much more questionable if you intend to do questionable things yourself. I do want to watch the message. No, let's talk to Joker. Might as well see if he and Edie are coming along.
We've got a Geth on board, not as a prisoner. Can you believe that?
The commander's taken out more Geth than anybody. This one must be different.
So yeah, Geth on the ship. Geth?
Alright, we're all freaking insane.
I assume everything is going well up here?
Shh.
Joker?
I can tell when it's listening.
I am always listening, Mr. Moreau.
I know.
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
Is that it? That's it. Yeah, definitely ending here. Next time we'll do the Geth loyalty mission. Any messages? An encrypted transmission from the elusive man. I'm pleased that you were able to recover the Reaper IFF, and I've sent Edie all the necessary protocols to get it integrated successfully into the Normandy systems. With luck, this will give us the ability to get through the Omega-4 relay and take the fight to the collectors on our own terms. Been notified about the intact Geth and your decision to keep it. you believe that it can be trusted, then go ahead and activate it. Just make sure that ED is adequately protected against any hacking attempts. It's not necessarily the decision I would have made, Shepard, but this is your call. You've already cast a wide net in your recruiting efforts, and if the Geth are willing to fight the Collectors, we can use them on the team. I trust you to get the job done, whatever it takes. Elusive Man doesn't give a shit. Elusive Man is like the honey badger. Yeah, and I think the Geth loyalty mission